People thought they had already seen every version of Keanu Reeves, the quiet legend, the action icon, the man who walks through Hollywood without acting like Hollywood. But his latest appearance changed something. No loud announcement, no dramatic speech, just Keanu stepping into public view looking calmer, sharper, and more powerful than anyone expected. Within minutes, photos and videos exploded across the internet. Fans started zooming into every detail, his expression, his body language, even the way people around him reacted. Some said he looked happier than he had in years. Others said there was something different in his energy that they couldn't explain. And what made the moment even bigger was that this wasn't some random rumor from social media pages. Major entertainment outlets and live event footage confirmed every second of it. Now fans everywhere are asking the same question. What exactly happened during Keanu Reeves' latest appearance that left the entire internet speechless? The moment Keanu Reeves appeared, the atmosphere around the event shifted almost instantly. Cameras that were originally focused on other celebrities suddenly turned toward him. Reporters who had been casually talking seconds earlier changed tone completely. Even people in the background could be seen pulling out phones just to capture a glimpse of him walking in. And what made the reaction so intense was not because he was trying to steal attention, it was actually the opposite. Keanu walked in with the same calm presence fans have respected for years. No exaggerated poses, no overacting for cameras, no fake celebrity energy. Just Keanu being Keanu. But somehow that simplicity made the moment even more powerful. Social media clips from the event started spreading within minutes and comments exploded everywhere. Fans kept repeating the same thing over and over. There's something different about him. People noticed how relaxed he looked, the way he smiled naturally while speaking to fans, the way he stopped to acknowledge crew members and photographers instead of rushing past them. And one small interaction especially became a massive talking point online. During a live red carpet clip, Keanu noticed a staff member accidentally dropping equipment near the entrance. Instead of ignoring it like most celebrities probably would in a crowded situation, he immediately paused and helped the person pick everything up before continuing forward. The clip was short, but millions of people replayed it because it perfectly reflected why Keanu Reeves continues to stand apart from almost everyone else in Hollywood. Fans were not shocked because he acted kind. They were shocked because after decades of fame, money, pressure, and non-stop attention, he still acts like a normal human being. And that authenticity is becoming increasingly rare in modern celebrity culture. Multiple entertainment reporters later mentioned during coverage that Keanu spent extra time speaking respectfully with event workers and security staff. One photographer even shared online that Keanu thanked nearly every person he interacted with during the appearance. That detail alone started another wave of reactions because people are used to celebrities arriving with huge egos and carefully controlled public behavior. But with Keanu, fans feel like they are watching someone genuine instead of someone performing for attention. And that is exactly why this latest appearance hit differently. It reminded people of something the internet almost forgot. Real humility still exists. As more footage surfaced, people also began focusing on Keanu's appearance itself. Many fans noticed how healthy and confident he looked compared to previous years, where paparazzi photos sometimes showed him appearing tired or emotionally distant. This time there was a visible calmness in his face. Some fans described it as peaceful energy, others said he looked truly happy. Fashion pages even started analyzing his outfit because of how effortlessly classic it looked. Keanu has never been known for flashy designer obsession, and that continued here. His style remained clean, simple, and timeless. But somehow the simplicity made him stand out even more among celebrities wearing attention-seeking outfits. Entertainment commentators started pointing out how Keanu's entire public image has become the complete opposite of what modern celebrity culture rewards. While others compete for viral moments, controversy, or headlines, Keanu gains attention simply by existing naturally, and fans respect him for that more every year. One reason this appearance became such a major discussion online is because Keanu Reeves has built something almost impossible in Hollywood. Trust. Audiences trust him, not because he claims perfection, but because his actions across many years consistently match the image people see. Stories about his kindness did not begin yesterday. They have existed for decades. Crew members from movie sets have repeatedly shared experiences about Keanu treating everyone equally regardless of status. Stunt performers from the John Wick films publicly praised him for training alongside them with total respect. During press tours over the years, interviewers often noticed how carefully he listens before answering questions. And unlike many celebrities who try to dominate conversations, Keanu frequently shifts attention toward others. That pattern is important because fans are smart. People can usually tell when kindness is being performed for publicity But with Keanu, the stories never stop matching each other no matter who tells them. And during this latest appearance, the internet felt like it witnessed that authenticity all over again in real time. Another major reason fans reacted emotionally was because Keanu's journey has never been easy. Even people who only casually follow entertainment news know he has experienced heartbreaking personal losses throughout his life. Despite unimaginable pain, he continued working, creating, and treating people with compassion instead of bitterness. Many fans online referenced old interviews where Keanu spoke honestly about grief and moving forward. One quote especially resurfaced during discussions surrounding the appearance. During an interview years ago, Keanu said, "Grief changes shape, but it never ends." People shared that quote everywhere because they felt his latest public appearance reflected someone who has learned to carry pain without letting it destroy his humanity. That emotional connection between Keanu and audiences is something deeper than ordinary fandom. For many people, he represents resilience without arrogance, strength without cruelty, fame without ego. And in a world where negativity spreads faster than positivity, seeing someone maintain dignity after decades in the spotlight genuinely affects people emotionally. As clips continued circulating online, fans also began analyzing small moments frame by frame. One viral video showed Keanu greeting older fans waiting behind barriers. Instead of rushing through for quick photos, he stopped and listened carefully while they spoke to him. Witnesses at the event later posted that he stayed longer than expected because he didn't want fans to feel ignored. Another clip showed a young, nervous interviewer clearly struggling during a live segment. Keanu immediately relaxed the conversation, smiled warmly, and helped guide the interaction naturally instead of making the moment uncomfortable. Viewers praised him heavily afterward because it showed emotional intelligence that many celebrities completely lack during interviews. Entertainment analysts eventually started discussing a larger point connected to all of this. Keanu Reeves' popularity is no longer based only on movies. Yes, franchises like John Wick massively strengthened his legendary status. Yes, audiences still love films like The Matrix and Speed, but something bigger has happened over time. Keanu evolved into a symbol of authenticity in an industry many people distrust. And that reputation became even stronger after this latest appearance, because younger audiences, who may not fully know his entire history, suddenly experience that energy for themselves through viral clips and discussions. Many younger fans online admitted they finally understood why older generations admire him so much, because the reaction was not manufactured. It felt earned. Another fascinating detail that fueled internet discussion involved how other celebrities reacted around him during the event. Several actors and public figures appeared genuinely excited when interacting with Keanu. Body language experts online even started analyzing clips, showing people visibly smiling wider once he approached conversations. While some of that analysis became exaggerated like internet discussions usually do, one thing remained obvious. Keanu carries a unique reputation inside Hollywood itself. Many people in the industry seem to genuinely respect him, not just publicly but personally. And that matters because Hollywood can often be extremely performative. Respect there is not always real. Yet Keanu repeatedly receives admiration from directors, stunt teams, actors, and production crews across different generations. During previous interviews, actors who worked with him described him as focused, humble, and deeply respectful on set. Those comments resurfaced online again after the appearance, because fans wanted proof that the public image aligns with private behavior. And once again, story after story pointed in the same direction. Meanwhile, some commentators argued that society's reaction to Keanu says something important about modern culture itself. People are exhausted by fake personalities, non-stop scandals, and artificial influencer behavior. They crave sincerity, and Keanu Reeves unintentionally became the perfect answer to that exhaustion. He rarely overshares online. He avoids unnecessary controversy. He doesn't constantly chase attention. Yet every time he appears publicly, the internet reacts massively because people sense authenticity. One entertainment writer even mentioned that Keanu has mastered something celebrities spend entire careers trying to achieve: mystery combined with relatability. Fans feel connected to him while still respecting his privacy. That balance is incredibly rare today, and this latest appearance amplified that effect because it arrived during a time when audiences are increasingly critical of celebrity culture overall. Instead of feeling disconnected from him, people felt inspired by him. Even the way Keanu handled interviews during the event became a major talking point. Reporters asked him about upcoming projects, fan reactions, and career reflections. But what caught attention most was his calm, thoughtful delivery. Keanu has never spoken like someone desperately trying to sound profound. His answers often feel simple and honest, But during this appearance, fans noticed how grounded and appreciative he sounded while discussing his career journey. One interview clip especially spread rapidly online after he thanked audiences for continuing to support his work after so many years. People praised the fact that he spoke with gratitude instead of entitlement. That difference may sound small, but audiences notice it immediately, and because so many celebrities eventually develop a detached attitude toward fans, Keanu's appreciation felt refreshing. Several commentators compared his behavior to old-school Hollywood stars, who understood that fame could disappear quickly and therefore treated supporters with respect. Another detail fans loved involved Keanu's interactions with photographers. Usually, red carpet environments become chaotic with celebrities shouting poses while photographers aggressively demand attention. But Keanu approached the situation differently. He acknowledged photographers politely, moved naturally, and never appeared irritated despite constant flashing lights and noise. One photographer later posted online saying Keanu remained patient far longer than expected and made sure multiple camera angles received opportunities before moving on. Again, that might sound minor, but in celebrity environments, patience and respect can completely change how people experience interactions. And because behind-the-scenes workers often witness celebrities at their worst, positive comments from photographers and crew members carry real weight with audiences. As discussions kept growing, fans also revisited Keanu's history of avoiding excessive luxury despite massive success. Old stories resurfaced about him riding public transportation, quietly donating to charities, supporting film crews financially, and living far more modestly than many stars with similar wealth. While some viral internet stories about celebrities become exaggerated over time, several verified reports regarding Keanu's generosity have been confirmed through interviews and production sources over the years. That history made his latest appearance feel even more meaningful because audiences already associated him with humility before he even walked into the event. So when people saw him once again acting respectfully and calmly under global attention, it reinforced everything fans believed about him. Meanwhile, entertainment channels started producing breakdown videos analyzing why Keanu Reeves continues dominating internet conversations despite not behaving like a typical modern celebrity. Many concluded that Keanu represents consistency. He does not constantly reinvent himself for trends. He does not chase online validation. He simply continues being himself publicly year after year. And ironically, that authenticity creates stronger viral impact than calculated attention-seeking behavior. Some younger influencers online even admitted they were shocked by how overwhelmingly positive internet reactions became around such a simple appearance. No scandal, no outrageous statement, no controversy, just a respected actor walking into an event and treating people well. Yet millions reacted emotionally because genuine behavior now feels extraordinary. One especially powerful moment from the appearance happened near the end of the event, when fans gathered outside hoping for final glimpses before Keanu left. Despite long hours and visible exhaustion from interviews and cameras, he still stopped multiple times to wave, greet supporters, and acknowledge people calling his name. Several fans later uploaded emotional videos explaining they had waited for years to see him in person and were shocked by how attentive he remained even during departure. One fan said Keanu made eye contact and thanked them directly for supporting his work. Another said security seemed ready to move him quickly, but Keanu slowed down himself to interact longer with fans. These stories spread everywhere because they aligned perfectly with the reputation audiences already associated with him. And importantly, many of these moments were captured live from multiple angles, which strengthened credibility instead of relying purely on secondhand claims. As internet discussions continued for days afterward, larger conversations emerged about why Keanu Reeves resonates across generations. Older audiences admire his longevity and grounded personality. Younger audiences admire his authenticity in an era dominated by curated personas. Action movie fans respect his commitment to physical performance and stunt training. Casual viewers respect his humility, and people who know his personal story admire his resilience through tragedy. Very few public figures manage to connect with audiences on so many levels simultaneously. And this latest appearance reminded everyone exactly why that connection remains so powerful. Even critics who normally avoid celebrity praise admitted the internet's reaction felt understandable because Keanu's presence genuinely carries unusual emotional impact. By the time major media outlets finished covering the event, one thing became impossible to deny. Keanu Reeves had once again managed to dominate global attention without controversy, arrogance, or manufactured drama. And in today's entertainment landscape, that might actually be the most shocking thing of all. What made the entire situation even more fascinating was how quickly the conversation stopped being only about Keanu Reeves' appearance and started becoming something much deeper. People were not simply reacting to an actor showing up at an event, they were reacting to what he represents now in modern culture. Within hours, social media feeds were filled with emotional posts from fans explaining how Keanu inspires them personally. Some talked about surviving difficult periods in their own lives and finding comfort in the way Keanu carries himself publicly, despite the pain he has experienced privately. Others said seeing someone remain humble after decades of fame restored a little faith in humanity for them. That might sound dramatic at first, but when millions of people repeatedly express similar emotions independently, it reveals something important. Keanu Reeves is no longer viewed as just another celebrity. For many people, he has become proof that kindness and success can exist together without corruption destroying a person completely. And during this latest appearance, that feeling exploded online stronger than ever before. One major reason fans became so emotional was because the internet today is flooded with carefully manufactured personalities. Audiences constantly watch influencers, celebrities, and public figures trying to create viral moments every second. Everything feels calculated, every reaction feels rehearsed. Every emotional moment eventually turns into promotion for something else. But with Keanu, fans feel the opposite. His strongest public moments usually happen when he is not trying to create headlines at all. This appearance became another perfect example. There was no outrageous statement, no controversy, no attempt to dominate media coverage, yet the internet could not stop talking about him because people sensed authenticity immediately. And authenticity has become one of the rarest things online. Several journalists covering the event later mentioned how unusual the energy around Keanu felt compared to other celebrity appearances that same night. While many stars arrived surrounded by loud publicity teams and rushed through interactions quickly, Keanu appeared fully present in every moment. Reporters noticed he listened carefully to questions instead of giving robotic answers. Fans noticed he paid attention to people speaking to him instead of scanning for cameras constantly. And even people who worked backstage reportedly described him as calm and respectful throughout the entire event. One production assistant shared online that Keanu thanked workers individually while leaving an area between interviews. That detail spread quickly because audiences have heard too many horror stories about celebrities treating staff poorly behind the scenes. Every positive interaction connected to Keanu seems to strengthen the feeling that his kindness is real rather than performative. Another reason the appearance hit differently involves timing. Audiences today are exhausted emotionally. Non-stop negativity dominates headlines every single day. Scandals spread constantly. Public figures disappoint people repeatedly. Trust feels broken almost everywhere. So when someone like Keanu Reeves appears publicly and reminds people that decency still exists, the reaction becomes much larger than entertainment news. It becomes emotional relief. Many fans literally described feeling happy after watching clips from the appearance, because the interactions felt sincere. One viral comment received enormous attention after saying, "Keanu Reeves walks into a room and suddenly the world feels less fake." Thousands agreed with that statement, because it captured exactly why the internet responded so intensely. Meanwhile, entertainment analysts started revisiting Keanu's long history in Hollywood to explain why audiences remain so attached to him after all these years. Unlike many actors whose popularity rises and falls rapidly, Keanu has survived multiple generations of entertainment changes while maintaining public respect. His career itself is remarkable. From early films to becoming globally recognized through the Matrix franchise and later reinventing himself again through John Wick, Keanu continuously evolved without losing his identity. Many actors struggle once Hollywood trends change. Some become bitter, some desperately chase relevance, some completely disappear. But Keanu adapted naturally while staying grounded, and that consistency built enormous trust with audiences over time. During discussions about the latest appearance, many fans revisited older interviews where directors and co-stars praised Keanu's professionalism. Stunt coordinators from John Wick previously explained how seriously he committed himself to training. Interviews with film crews described him as hardworking and respectful during production. Those stories resurfaced again because people wanted to understand why reactions to his appearance felt so powerful emotionally. The answer kept pointing toward the same thing: consistency. Keanu's reputation did not appear overnight. It formed slowly across decades through repeated actions that matched public perception. Another fascinating aspect involved how younger audiences reacted. Many younger viewers primarily know Keanu through memes, short clips, or John Wick films, rather than his full career history. But after this latest appearance, countless younger fans started diving deeper into old interviews and stories about him. Videos compiling his respectful moments gained millions of views again, Clips from past interviews where he discussed life, grief, and gratitude resurfaced across every platform. One especially popular interview segment involved Keanu speaking thoughtfully about loss and memory. Audiences praised how honestly and calmly he discussed emotional pain without turning it into spectacle. People connected strongly with that because modern celebrity culture often feels emotionally manipulative, but Keanu's words felt sincere. And during the latest appearance, fans believed they could physically see the emotional maturity he developed through years of experience and hardship. Some people even pointed out how rare it is for a celebrity to age publicly while gaining more admiration over time instead of less. Usually, internet culture becomes harsher toward aging stars, but with Keanu, audiences seem increasingly protective and appreciative as years pass. Many comments during the appearance focused on how gracefully he carries himself. Fans praised his natural look, his calm demeanor, and the fact that he does not appear obsessed with pretending to be younger than he is. That authenticity resonated strongly because so much of Hollywood pressures celebrities to maintain impossible illusions constantly. Keanu's approach feels human instead of artificial, and that humanity became one of the biggest themes surrounding the internet's reaction. As media coverage expanded, several commentators also discussed the symbolism connected to Keanu's career choices. Unlike some stars who only chase massive blockbuster visibility, Keanu has often supported creative projects quietly and worked with deep commitment regardless of project size. Filmmakers who collaborated with him repeatedly described him as passionate about storytelling itself rather than fame alone. Audiences respect that because they sense genuine love for the craft. During this latest appearance, interview clips where Keanu discussed upcoming work gained huge traction, partly because people enjoy hearing him speak about filmmaking sincerely rather than like a corporate spokesperson. His excitement feels real, his gratitude feels real, and in an industry built heavily around image management, that difference matters enormously. Another detail fans could not stop discussing involved Keanu's body language during fan interactions. Many viewers noticed he gives people his full attention when they speak. That sounds simple, but psychologically it creates strong emotional impact because most celebrity interactions appear rushed or distracted. In multiple clips from the event, Keanu can be seen leaning slightly toward fans while listening carefully, smiling naturally, and responding thoughtfully instead of offering automatic reactions. Communication experts online even analyze these moments, explaining that people subconsciously recognize genuine presence immediately. And because Keanu behaves this way consistently across years of public appearances, audiences trust it more deeply. One particularly emotional moment occurred when an older fan became visibly overwhelmed, meeting him near the event area. Instead of quickly moving along, Keanu slowed down, stayed calm, and made sure the person felt comfortable before continuing. Witnesses nearby later described the interaction as incredibly respectful and patient. Once the clip spread online, fans reacted emotionally because it reflected the exact type of compassion people already associate with him. Importantly, the moment was not dramatic or exaggerated. That is precisely why it affected people so strongly. It felt real. Meanwhile, some entertainment writers argued that Keanu Reeves has accidentally become a cultural counterbalance to toxic celebrity behavior. Every year, audiences watch public figures become consumed by ego, controversy, or performative online behavior. Then Keanu appears quietly somewhere and reminds everyone that fame does not automatically require losing humility. That contrast makes his presence feel almost refreshing to audiences exhausted by negativity. One columnist wrote that Keanu's greatest talent may actually be preserving his humanity while living inside an industry designed to destroy it. Fans shared that statement everywhere because it perfectly summarized public sentiment after the appearance. Even people who are not deeply invested in celebrity culture admitted feeling unusually positive while watching clips from the event. Another reason this moment became so massive online involves how organically the reaction developed. No huge marketing campaign created the buzz. Fans themselves spread the clips because they genuinely wanted others to see them. That authenticity changed everything. Viral trends usually disappear quickly because they feel forced, but conversations about Keanu's appearance continued growing because people emotionally connected to what they saw. Reaction videos appeared across platforms. Entertainment podcasts discussed it. Journalists wrote articles analyzing why audiences remain obsessed with Keanu Reeves specifically. And through all of it, one point stayed consistent. People trust him. Trust has become one of the most valuable forms of influence in modern culture, and Keanu possesses it naturally, without seeming to chase it. Several fans also pointed out how rare it is for someone at Keanu's level of fame to maintain privacy without becoming cold toward the public. Many celebrities either overshare constantly or disappear entirely. Keanu somehow balances both worlds. He protects his personal life carefully, while still showing warmth during public interactions. That balance fascinates audiences because it feels emotionally healthy. He does not seem addicted to attention, yet he remains appreciative towards supporters. During the latest appearance, that quality became especially visible. Despite enormous media focus, he never appeared desperate for validation. Ironically, that calm confidence made people admire him even more. Some fans even compared the atmosphere surrounding Keanu to older eras of movie stardom when charisma came from presence rather than non-stop exposure. Another huge topic online involved Keanu's smile during the event. It sounds minor, but thousands of comments focused specifically on how genuinely happy he looked. Longtime fans said there was a lightness in his expression they had not seen in years. People referenced past paparazzi photos where Keanu sometimes appeared emotionally heavy or exhausted. Seeing him relaxed and smiling naturally affected fans more deeply than outsiders might expect, because many audiences feel emotionally invested in his well-being after following his journey for decades. Some even describe the appearance as comforting because Keanu seemed peaceful, and when audiences care about someone beyond entertainment value, small emotional details suddenly matter enormously. As interviews from the event continued circulating, one answer from Keanu especially resonated online. When discussing his relationship with fans, he reportedly expressed appreciation for people supporting his work across generations. Viewers praised how sincere the gratitude sounded. There was no arrogance in his tone. No assumption that admiration was automatically deserved, just appreciation. And once again, audiences noticed the difference immediately. Because modern celebrity culture often encourages entitlement, genuine gratitude feels surprisingly powerful when people witness it publicly. Another layer of discussion centered around how Keanu Reeves became an internet icon without relying heavily on social media himself. Unlike many public figures constantly posting for engagement, Keanu maintains a relatively low online presence. Yet he trends globally whenever he appears publicly, because fans spread content organically. That phenomenon fascinated digital culture analysts covering the reaction. Many concluded that Keanu represents something increasingly rare in the algorithm era: authentic influence. People talk about him because they genuinely want to, not because content systems aggressively push him every second. And this latest appearance proved that again on a massive scale. Some analysts even argued that Keanu's popularity now transcends traditional fandom entirely. He functions more like a symbol representing values audiences miss seeing publicly: humility, resilience, kindness, emotional maturity, respect. Whether or not every story online about him is perfectly accurate, the broader emotional connection clearly exists. And during this appearance, millions of people felt reminded why they admire him so deeply. Even discussions about fashion and appearance eventually circled back toward authenticity. Style commentators praised how Keanu manages to look elegant without seeming obsessed with image management. His clothing choices during the event appeared classic and understated rather than attention-seeking. Fans appreciated that because it matched everything else about his public persona. Nothing felt forced, nothing felt artificial. The overall effect created an unusual kind of charisma, built more on presence than performance. Meanwhile, several celebrities who attended the same event later mentioned Keanu positively during interviews or online interactions. That detail strengthened public reaction even further, because admiration from industry peers often reveals truths audiences cannot fully see themselves. When actors, directors, stunt performers, photographers, and crew members consistently speak respectfully about someone across decades, it builds credibility impossible to fake long-term. By the end of the internet frenzy surrounding the appearance, one conclusion became impossible to ignore. Keanu Reeves did not leave people speechless because of controversy, shock value, or manufactured drama. He left people speechless because he reminded millions what genuine humanity looks like in a world increasingly dominated by performance. And maybe that is why the reaction became so emotional. People were not just watching a celebrity appearance, they were watching proof that fame does not always erase decency. They were watching someone who survived heartbreak, pressure, and decades of public attention without losing compassion for others. And in today's world, that feels almost unbelievable. And as the conversation kept growing across the internet, something unexpected started happening. People who normally never pay attention to celebrity news began joining the discussion too. Not because they suddenly cared about red carpets or Hollywood events, but because the clips surrounding Keanu Reeves carried a kind of emotional honesty that felt impossible to ignore. Office workers were sharing videos of his interactions during lunch breaks. Parents were showing clips to their children while explaining why kindness matters. Even older viewers who usually stay far away from internet trends admitted they stopped scrolling just to watch Keanu speak or smile during interviews from the event. The appearance somehow crossed beyond entertainment and entered everyday conversations because people recognized something rare inside it: sincerity. And the more fans rewatched the footage, the more details they noticed. One clip showed Keanu briefly stepping aside while photographers crowded around him so another guest could pass through more comfortably. Another showed him nodding respectfully towards security staff after they cleared space for fans. Tiny moments like these became massive online discussions because audiences understand how celebrities often behave when cameras are not directly focused on them. Many public figures know exactly how to perform kindness during obvious spotlight moments, but genuine character usually reveals itself during small and scripted interactions. That is why so many people became convinced this latest appearance reflected the real Keanu rather than a carefully managed image. Entertainment journalists later confirmed through eyewitness accounts that Keanu remained approachable throughout the entire event, even after long hours of interviews and non-stop attention. And importantly, those observations align perfectly with stories people have heard about him for years. One major reason audiences trust Keanu so deeply is because the pattern never changes. Whether it is a massive premiere, a casual public sighting, or an old interview resurfacing online, the same qualities appear repeatedly: humility, patience, respect, calmness. And over time, consistency becomes more powerful than publicity campaigns ever could. Fans online began comparing this latest appearance to earlier moments from Keanu's career that made people admire him so strongly in the first place. Clips from years ago resurfaced showing him giving up seats on public transportation, speaking thoughtfully about life during interviews, and quietly supporting charities without turning those actions into media spectacles. One particularly emotional story people revisited involved reports from film crews claiming Keanu once shared portions of his earnings with behind-the-scenes workers because he valued their contributions. While Keanu himself rarely promotes stories like these publicly, the fact that they continue emerging from different sources across decades has created an almost legendary reputation around him. And during this latest appearance, fans felt they were witnessing another chapter in that same ongoing story. Meanwhile, psychologists and communication experts online started analyzing why audiences react so intensely to Keanu specifically. Many pointed toward emotional congruence. In simple terms, his words, facial expressions, tone, and actions seem aligned naturally. People subconsciously detect when someone behaves authentically versus when they are performing emotions strategically. According to several analysts discussing the viral clips, Keanu's interactions feel believable because his energy remains consistent regardless of circumstance. Whether speaking to reporters, greeting fans, or interacting with staff members, he behaves with the same respectful calmness. That stability creates trust automatically, and in a digital world overflowing with exaggerated personalities and constant attention-seeking behavior, calm authenticity feels almost magnetic. Another fascinating layer emerged when fans began discussing how Keanu Reeves represents a completely different version of masculinity than what dominates much of entertainment culture today. Despite starring in some of the most iconic action films ever made, Keanu rarely projects arrogance or aggression off-screen. Instead, he carries himself with emotional intelligence and quiet confidence. Many fans said this contrast is part of why people connect with him so deeply. He proves that strength does not require cruelty. Respect does not require weakness, and confidence does not require constant self-promotion. During the latest appearance, viewers repeatedly pointed out how comfortable Keanu seemed allowing other people to shine during conversations instead of trying to dominate every moment himself. That quality stood out massively in an industry where ego often becomes the loudest voice in every room. One especially viral interaction happened when a nervous young journalist interviewing Keanu appeared to lose track of a question mid-sentence. Instead of making the situation awkward or impatiently waiting, Keanu smiled warmly and gently helped guide the conversation forward. Viewers praised the moment everywhere because they recognized how easily celebrities can embarrass interviewers during live media situations. But Keanu instinctively protected the other person's comfort instead. Communication coaches later referenced the clip while discussing emotional awareness and empathy. That level of reaction shows how deeply people were analyzing even small moments from the appearance. Another reason the internet refused to stop talking about Keanu involved timing within broader culture. Audiences are increasingly skeptical of celebrity activism, influencer branding, and carefully engineered public images. Many people feel emotionally manipulated by constant attempts to appear relatable online. But Keanu's appeal works differently because he rarely seems interested in controlling public perception aggressively. He does interviews when necessary, attends events professionally, and then largely disappears back into private life. Ironically, that restraint makes public appearances feel more meaningful because audiences know they are not constantly being sold a personality. One cultural commentator explained it perfectly by saying, Keanu Reeves feels human before he feels famous. That quote spread rapidly because it captured exactly why millions reacted so emotionally to his latest appearance. Fans also became deeply invested in how genuinely happy and healthy Keanu looked during the event. Many comments specifically mentioned his eyes and smile, saying he appeared lighter emotionally than in some previous public appearances. Because audiences know pieces of the tragedy and grief Keanu has experienced, throughout his life, people feel protective toward him in an unusually personal way. There is a collective emotional hope among fans that he finds peace and happiness. So when this appearance showed him laughing naturally and interacting warmly with people around him, fans responded almost like they were seeing an old friend doing well after difficult years. That emotional attachment might seem unusual for someone most viewers have never met personally, but it reflects the rare connection Keanu has built with audiences globally. Another huge talking point centered around how gracefully Keanu handles fame itself. Many celebrities eventually become visibly consumed by public attention, either craving it constantly or resenting it openly. But Keanu seems to exist somewhere in the middle. He understands fame without appearing controlled by it. During the event, several clips showed him patiently navigating massive crowds and non-stop cameras without frustration or performative excitement. He remained composed and grounded throughout. Body language experts commenting online noted how relaxed his posture stayed even during chaotic moments, suggesting genuine comfort with himself rather than insecurity masked by celebrity confidence. That psychological stability fascinated audiences because modern fame often appears emotionally destructive. Seeing someone survive decades of extreme visibility while remaining balanced feels genuinely impressive to people. As discussions continued, many fans revisited old Keanu interviews to compare them with his current demeanor. What stood out most was how little his core personality appears to have changed despite enormous career success. In interviews from years ago, Keanu already displayed the same thoughtful pauses, respectful listening, and calm perspective fans still see today. That consistency strengthened public trust even more, because audiences could track it across decades rather than isolated moments. One resurfaced interview clip especially exploded online again after the appearance. When asked years ago what he thinks happens after death, Keanu quietly responded, "I know that the ones who love us will miss us." The line became legendary because of its emotional simplicity and honesty. Following the latest appearance, fans shared the clip everywhere again, saying it reflected the depth and humanity they continue sensing from him publicly. Another interesting dimension involved how other celebrities seemed to react around Keanu during the event. Multiple clips showed actors smiling more warmly or appearing genuinely excited once he approached conversations. Internet users joked that even famous people become fans around Keanu Reeves. While some comments were playful exaggerations, there was still a noticeable pattern. People in the industry appear to genuinely like him personally, not just professionally. That distinction matters because Hollywood relationships can often feel transactional or performative. Yet stories about Keanu consistently describe him as respectful behind the scenes too. Directors praise his dedication, stunt teams praise his work ethic, crew members praise his kindness, and because these accounts come from different people across many years, audiences believe them more deeply. During the frenzy surrounding the latest appearance, one former crew member's old interview resurfaced, where they described Keanu learning staff members' names and thanking workers individually during production. Fans shared the story everywhere because it perfectly matched the energy viewers saw during the new event footage. Another reason this appearance became such a massive internet moment is because Keanu Reeves symbolizes hope for many people in ways even he probably does not fully realize. Audiences see someone who endured painful personal loss yet still treats others gently. They see someone who reached extraordinary success without losing humility. They see someone aging naturally without desperately clinging to artificial perfection. And perhaps most importantly, they see someone who appears emotionally real in a culture increasingly dominated by performance. All those factors combined during this latest appearance and created something bigger than ordinary celebrity coverage. It became a reminder of values people desperately miss seeing publicly: respect, patience, gratitude, empathy, authenticity. Even media outlets that normally focus heavily on controversy found themselves publishing surprisingly positive coverage because the public response itself was impossible to ignore. Article after article analyzed why audiences continue connecting with Keanu so strongly. Some focused on his humility, others focused on his resilience, Others discussed how rare genuine warmth feels within celebrity culture now. But all the explanations kept leading back toward the same core truth. People trust what they see from him. One especially emotional moment from the appearance involved a fan interaction near the exit area, after most major interviews had already ended. According to multiple eyewitness accounts and fan recordings, Keanu still stopped to acknowledge supporters despite visibly looking tired after hours of media attention. One fan later uploaded a video while crying emotionally because Keanu had taken a few extra seconds to speak kindly and thank them personally. The clip spread rapidly because audiences recognized how easily famous people can become detached from fans after long, exhausting events. But Keanu continued showing patience and appreciation until the very end. Those final interactions almost became symbolic of the entire night. No matter how intense the spotlight became, he never stopped treating people like human beings instead of obstacles. By this point, conversations online had evolved far beyond simple admiration for an actor. People started discussing Keanu Reeves almost like a cultural comfort figure, someone whose presence temporarily makes the internet less cynical. Countless posts described feeling emotionally calmer after watching clips from the appearance, because the energy felt positive instead of toxic. In an online environment usually dominated by arguments and negativity, that effect became surprisingly powerful. Many fans even joked that Keanu Reeves might secretly be the internet's last universally trusted celebrity. While obviously exaggerated humor, the joke reflected something real underneath. Very few public figures today receive such consistently positive reactions across different generations, backgrounds, and communities. Another major factor behind the internet's obsession involved nostalgia. For millions of people, Keanu Reeves has existed across multiple important periods of their lives, through films and cultural moments. Older fans remember Speed and Point Break. Another generation grew up with The Matrix redefining science fiction cinema. Younger audiences connected through John Wick and internet culture. Because Keanu remained relevant across so many eras without major scandals destroying public affection, audiences developed unusually long emotional relationships with him. This latest appearance activated all those memories simultaneously. Fans were not just reacting to the present moment, they were reacting to decades of connection, built through entertainment, interviews, and public perception. And when someone carries that much emotional history for people, even simple appearances can trigger enormous reactions. Toward the end of the viral frenzy, one entertainment commentator summarized the situation in a way many fans felt captured everything perfectly. They said Keanu Reeves leaves people speechless because he represents the possibility that success does not have to destroy gentleness. That sentence spread rapidly because it explained why the internet responded with such emotion. Audiences are tired of watching fame turn people cold, arrogant, or disconnected. Seeing someone navigate unimaginable success while remaining calm and compassionate feels almost revolutionary now, and maybe that is the real reason Keanu's latest appearance became such a phenomenon. Not because of what he wore, not because of some shocking announcement, not because of controversy or drama, but because for a few moments, millions of people looked at someone standing in the middle of global attention and saw authenticity instead of performance. And in today's world, that alone is enough to leave the internet speechless. If Keanu Reeves reminded the world of anything with this appearance, it is that real respect, humility, and kindness still matter no matter how famous someone becomes. That is exactly why millions of people continue supporting him after all these years. So if you enjoyed this video and want more real stories about legends who inspire people without fake drama or negativity, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next upload. And now I want to hear from you. What was the moment from Keanu Reeves' latest appearance that surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because the conversation around this moment is only getting bigger.